Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Kirby's Dream Land 2. So today we are starting off with Ripple Field, where we will be meeting our third and final partner of the game, and his name is Kine, and he is a fish, and basically he's going to be very useful for these underwater sections we're going through. I'm just going to get rid of Ku because I don't really need him, and I would rather just be Vanilla Kirby for this first section here. Now, this world isn't very hard, but it kind of goes into the whole thing of basically the first three worlds I would consider kind of training worlds, and from World 4 on, that's when the difficulty kind of starts to ramp up a bit, which is good because this game is honestly a bit too easy starting off, even though my ass is being kicked right now for some reason, and I actually want to get that ability because that's a new ability. And it is obviously Stone Kirby, which most of you should probably be familiar with, because it is probably one of Kirby's most classic abilities. So, basically with Stone, you can roll down hills like this when you use it, and Kirby is also pretty much completely invincible when he's using Stone, so you can actually take advantage of that to an extent. I do believe there are some things that can harm Kirby in Stone form, but I'm not sure to what extent those things are, so you just kind of want to be a bit careful, but you have room for error. But anyway, this is also the introduction of water mechanics, and actually, I'd like to get this if I can. There we go. I always end up missing that usually, but I'm glad I got it that time. And that was dumb. You cannot get your copy ability back if you lose it underwater, so keep that in mind. But actually, if you have Kine as a partner, then you can recover your ability, because when you're Kirby with Kine, then you'll actually swallow things underwater instead of just spitting bubbles. But anyway, that was level 1, and it is pretty easy. You also might have noticed that for each world, the color palette changes slightly, so because we are in the water world Ripple Field, the color palette is like a bluish type color, and I kind of like that little detail. It's pretty nice. Now, another thing I actually forgot to mention that I just realized now looking at this is that when Kirby falls for a certain amount of time, he will enter into like a falling animation, and if he jumps on an enemy's head in this state, he'll actually hurt them and kill them instead of just hurting himself, so that's one thing that you can remember if you're falling from high enough. This won't work with the parcel, obviously, because that makes you fall slower. But anyway, right now we are fighting a boss, which is a jellyfish type thing, I guess. And if you can't tell, this guy will give us the Spark ability, which I don't think we've actually run into yet, so this will be the first time. Basically, he'll throw stars at you, and you just need to inhale them and hit them with the stars he gives you. And then he's pretty much done. And now we have Kine, and Kine and Spark allows us to shoot light bulbs, and it also makes us partially invincible. And it's actually a really good combination, and it also allows us to find some things that are hidden in the dark that we will be seeing a bit later. But right now, oh, and also another thing is that it allows you to fight against air currents, because when you're regular Kirby, usually those will push you around, but with Kine they won't, so that's a very useful ability. So Kine is really good underwater, and he's much more useful than Rick. Stupid Rick. And I also really like that Kine also somewhat works on land, though he's a bit hard to use, but he's still kind of functional. But anyway, if we press B here and we have the Spark, we can see secrets. You can see there's a door there, and when we enter the door, there are stars, so we get some extra bonus stars for being for using this ability. We can also get Spike there if we wanted, but obviously we want to keep this ability because it is slightly more useful than Spike to us. And Spike with Kine is basically the same as with regular Kirby. One thing that's kind of funny is that with Fire Breath, Kine's Fire Breath is basically useless on land. I mean, underwater, sorry, not on land. But on land, it actually allows you to shoot like this big fire blast, kind of like the Heatman's weapon from Mega Man 2? Yeah, Mega Man 2. So it kind of acts in the same way, and it's really good, so if you're going to be doing primarily land levels, which you probably will be in World 4, then picking that up with Kine now I mean, then wouldn't be such a bad idea, but now it's just a bit useless because we're mostly underwater, and I like to stick to Spark because you don't need Spark to get the Rainbow Drop in this level, and actually the ability that you need to get the Rainbow Drop I will be showing later. Actually right soon, I think it's right over here, because the Rainbow Drop is hidden in this area, and in order to get it, you actually need stone. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Now, I might have a bit of trouble getting the stone, because what we'll have to do is we have to get him before he dies. I've run into this situation a lot, and it is extremely aggravating. Oh, we can actually just... Okay, that's a lot easier. I never knew I could do that. So now we're kind with stone, and he's basically the same as Kirby with stone. So no differences there, but obviously Kine is a lot bigger, and he has a larger radius of effect, I guess you would say. But anyway, we can fight against these propellers, and we enter into this bonus room, but actually there is a bit more to this room than it appears, because hidden right here is a door, and inside is the Rainbow Drop. Hooray! I already knew this was here, but you would need to have the Spark ability to know that was there. So we'll just collect that. Ta-da! And now we can continue on and basically finish this level and this world. And actually, we're going to be coming up on the boss soon, so I'm probably not going to be sticking to stone, because this boss doesn't do well with the ability we have right now. So let's go up here. I don't think I'm going to go back for fire, because the boss is underwater. So I think maybe I'll just stick to regular Kine, because even Kine without an ability is still pretty useful underwater, just because of he can still suck up things. Oh, but actually, it would have been useful to have stone for this part here, but oh well, guess we're not going to have it, because unfortunately it is really easy to get hit here because of how the enemies work. So we're just going to have to be really careful. I cannot believe... This section does get kind of old though, so if you have stone, you can actually take your time and get through here with very little input required on your part. But I find it's faster to just swim through here naturally, which is what I'd like to do. So let's get rid of all these enemies. And I guess now I can take the time to say my thoughts on Kirby's Dream Land 2. Basically, I played this game when I was a child. I got it when I was, I think, 10 maybe. And it is by far one of the highlights of my childhood, because I wouldn't say I'm very good at video games, and when I was 10, I was pretty bad, so this game, I think, has a good amount of difficulty, that it's not hard enough that a child couldn't play it and beat it, but it's hard enough that they would actually feel like they're being challenged, if you know what I mean. So, we're at this boss, and I wish I knew what his name was, but sadly I don't. And, the thing with this boss is that he will shoot arrows at you, which are fairly easy to avoid if you have Kine, anyway. Even with Kirby, they're pretty easy to avoid, though. And the goal of this battle is that, this guy is going to be, having things come on the screen, and then you need to hit him with them. So, he's not a hard battle, and, unless you're just Kirby. If you're just Kirby, you actually have to go about things a bit differently. What you need to do is, you actually have to, use the bubbles and basically, blow the bubbles against the stars, which will then bash into him. It's kind of weird, but it does work. I had a lot of trouble with this boss the first time I played him, but he's not too bad. And we're actually just about to beat him, I think. Yep. So, pretty easy stuff. And now our clone army and our fish will dance underwater. Hooray! And we'll get the star, and we can move on to the next world. So, I don't think I'll be able to do all of this next world, but we'll certainly try to do a good portion of it. This is Iceberg. So now, basically, Kirby has to fight over which partner he wants to use in this vignette. Oh, look at Kine, that face, it's so sad. But this is actually the first world with more than 3 levels. You can see there's 4 here, which makes the world a bit longer, so we're probably only going to do 2 of them right now. These enemies are really annoying because they tend to home in on you, but luckily, since we have Spark, now we have a good projectile attack that we can use to defeat our enemies. Kine and the Spark ability go together really well, so honestly, it's probably one of the best attacks you can use in the game. If we wanted, we could switch to Rick here, but actually, I think I'm going to stay with Kine because Kine isn't totally useless on land. I mean, as you can see, he's not really slow, but he kind of moves weird. So, I mean, I don't know why you would choose Rick over Kine. Damn it. That was a bad move. So, let's try that again. I guess we are going to go for Rick, so what we want to do is we want to get the fire ability, go in here, and then we can just burn our way through. And hooray! So, we already know what Rick and the fire ability do, so no need to explain that. But, this is basically the world where the game kind of steps up a bit in difficulty. Not only in terms of bosses and enemies, but just in sheer platforming. As you can see, this is all bottomless pits, and I don't know why my fire isn't doing anything against him. I guess you can't hit him with fire. But, there is definitely a lot of risk in this world, so you gotta be careful. And now we have ice, which, basically, as you can see, turns enemies into frozen cubes, and you can then push them, and they will hit other enemies. So it's a pretty good ability. With Rick, it's kind of like one of the iterations from past Kirby games, where it's like, it kind of acts like a spark attack, you know, where it's just like, you're surrounded by a damaging shield. Personally, I don't like Kine's version of the ice ability, so I'm actually going to get rid of it, and I'm just going to hit the boss with it, because we're going to be taking this boss's ability anyway. And there we go. Easy as pie. And now I really like Rick with the stone ability, because then basically you have Kirby just riding on top of the stone, and it looks so funny. And this section's really fun because when you're just stoned, you can slide right through it and get through all the enemies, and it feels pretty good. No need to get that cutter there. We're just gonna roll our way down this giant hill. And here you want to be careful not to get hit. And we shall end the level off here. So let's try to get a good bonus. Well, we're at full health anyway, so it's all good. And we have 8 lives now. I'm not sure what the maximum live number for this game is, but it doesn't really matter because you're probably not going to die a hell of a lot in this game. I've only died twice, which is more than I usually do. Now, here I need to be careful because I always end up dying at this section here. For this reason, you'll see in a sec. Oh, maybe I should have jumped a bit farther than that. But now that we're just standard Kirby, I should not have any trouble. So, I'm not going to fly through it, even though that's very easy to do. But that's always an option if it's giving you too much trouble. Whoa, did not want to do that. And actually, I think we're going to be getting Ku again soon, because we are. We're right at a section where you'll need Ku to progress. So, we got our boss here. And there's also ice physics, so it's not really fun to play with. You gotta be careful, otherwise it's very easy to die. Whoa, 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 come on. Oh, that was not fair. Come on, just give me your projectile thing so I can hit you with it. Oh. Oh no, I shot it too early. Come on, these boss battles can get a bit repetitive. But they usually do a good job of making sure that the enemy variety is pretty varied. Or at least the ability variety is varied. I think this game is honestly pretty well paced. But there's not a whole lot of reason for replay value. Unless, like, you want to get the rainbow drops, which is pretty easy, honestly, and doesn't offer a whole lot of replay value. Because, honestly, if you were really, really adamant about it, you could probably get all the rainbow drops on your first try. But, I did not, obviously, so it's all depending on how you want to play the game. Now, here is an interesting little section because we're going to be coming on a specific type of room that we will be seeing a bit later in the game. So we're going to get rid of the umbrella ability, and this room is basically full of copy abilities, so we can just choose an ability, and then it's ours. So the ability we chose is fire, and I'll tell you why we want fire in a second. Or you might already know, because we have ice blocks down here. You can only get down here with fire and Ku, so if you don't have that combination, then I don't think you can get down here. I don't think with Kine or Rick it works, or with standard Kirby, so... And it's required to get through this section, obviously. If you need to, you can actually enter and re-enter that area, and the enemies will respawn, so if you lose the fire ability, don't worry about it. And that takes care of level 2, so I am going to call it for this video, so I thank you all for watching. I'm Methodical Destruction, and I will see you in the next part. Bye.